Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, the 30th of April. So I said today I wanted to make a video about the knowledge of good and evil, of good and bad. But actually, I will go further than that. I will talk about the tree of life. And just to show you how I see this garden, our garden, the garden of the living God, the garden of earth, and how it is functioning if we were a part of it, a part of the living God, from the dust of whom we were created. Anyway, I want to start, and just very shortly, in Genesis 3, starting at verse 22. And that is when we were chucked out of the garden after the serpent incident. So, and it says there, "And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil." So we know, he said it. "And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life." And there is something I've only just seen this morning when I read this earlier. He threw us out to keep the way of the tree of life. That is not to keep us from the tree of life or to bar the way to the tree of life, but to keep the way of the tree of life, their way. They kept us out to keep their way. They have a way by which life is preserved or is a way by which life will continue. And that is why they threw us out, to keep their way. Because ours is a different way. Actually, ours is a more advanced way than theirs. So, but, first of all, we ate of the tree of knowledge of good and bad. And now, that is a tree that branches out into different, every tree does, yeah? So you could say it is multi-dimensional, it has got, and then use that word dimensional as in there's different aspects to it. There's different aspects to good and bad. So if you start with everything is just light, you are on the level of Adam and Eve before they ate of the tree. You just don't know. You don't understand what good and bad is. You know, you see it's all light, but that's it. And if you want then to use the word dimension as in space, yeah, you are a spiritual flat earther. That is basically what you are. So there's no depth to it. So the next step would be black and white, the duality. Everything is black and white, and a lot of people are on that level, you know, that they're being taught that way. It's just black and white, and that is, it serves because you can sheep herd them then, you know, from one extreme to the next. But if you go further into it, you know, it is not just black and white. There are more aspects to it. For as in giving and receiving, for instance, or to give or to receive, yeah? It is not just giving. If you have a heroin addict, you do not just give heroin. You need to take something away, namely the heroin, in order to save him. Yeah? So it is not just giving. Sometimes it has to be taken away. If somebody has too much of something that is out of balance, you need to take that away, which is too much. If somebody has not enough of something, you have to give in order to restore balance again, to make them whole again. So, no, it's not just give, give, give. There's another differentiation there. The next thing I was thinking of is timing. A timing is another aspect of good and bad. You know, you have the completely wrong timing and the whole thing will go belly up. So knowing that the correct time when to give something. Because quite often if the person was not ready to receive that, he doesn't understand, then your gift will do no good. Yeah, it might be given with the best of intentions, but the timing was wrong and nothing will work. So that's another aspect of good and bad, knowing the timing. And then really coming back to the question, what should it serve? Good and bad according to what? So according to the Lord God, he wants to have dominion over this world. He is that desire. And good is everything that serves him. You know, and I will reward that which serves me. And then you come to the, or your God is money. Yeah, the highest thing is money. And then you come to the screwed up morals of that Pfizer executive, you know, where he says, well, it's bad for the people. Yeah, but hey, it's a cash cow for us. You know, it is really good. You know, because my highest desire, what I serve, is to make profit, which are completely screwed up morals. But that is because, you know, what is important, what is at top, what should all of this serve? So we are the image of the living God. We are his image. He is the giver of life. Yeah? We know each other through life, through the experience of life. That's what he gives. Then our highest aim should be to give to each other, through the knowledge of good and bad, that which will give to life. Life should be our highest aim. And through living and through the connections, we will know him. We will know the God of this world. So, which we are the image of. So, which brings me to the tree of life now. And as I said, the Lord God threw us out to keep their way. So their way will not be in any way contaminated by us, because we are not that way. Now, what is the first knowledge you must have to know this tree of life? And that is the knowledge of self. That is the very first knowledge you must have. And also good and bad according to self. Yeah? Self-preservation, yes, absolutely. That is one of the first knowledges of this tree of life. And again, that is a knowledge that Jesus no longer had, because he done away with self. Yeah, for myself, I'm no longer there. And then that part of the tree, which is a living person, can be destroyed, can be made to self-destruct. Anyway, so that's the first. But that is by no means all, obviously. We need to branch out from there, obviously, to create a tree. So the next is connections to others. And the connections to others are again created by this world, by our spiritual connections to one another, where we are connected through love and understanding. And understanding is very important. So it's the connection, and it creates personas. Yeah? The connection between a mother and a child, which is the spiritual connection, creates the persona of the mother. And and they give and receive of each other through getting to know each other. Again, knowing what to give, what amount to give, at what time to give. For that you would need to know the other. to get it right. Yeah? So that there's a connection. There's a connection, a husband and wife, siblings, deep spiritual connections you could have with a friend. And there, as I say, that is a web. You see, that is a web. Not everything is connected to everything else, but it builds a web of connections, and that is our tree of life. That is our way. The way of the Lord God is a hive mind, where everything must serve the top. Because he threw us out, because our way is not his way, and he threw us out to keep his way so we would not be contaminated. But this is us. This is who we are. And I just had a wonderful example a while ago of how this tree of life works. And that is somebody here in Northern Ireland had lost a little dog. Some friend of mine put it on Facebook looking for that dog. And shared with everybody. Anybody knows where the dog is. And the answer came in the end. They found the dog, and the answer came from Canada. And there is where the question traveled through the web, and not everybody in the web was connected to everybody else, but the question in the end reached Canada, and people in Canada again knew somebody in Northern Ireland who knew somebody again, so the answer could come. That is us. That is how our web works. And where we can all be in service of each other, because everybody went in service of finding that dog. And they did in the end. That is who we are. And we are according to this world, because that is an ecosystem where everything is not directly connected to everything else, but through several connections they all give to each other. And that is far more advanced than a hive mind. So then the only way we can stay in service to the Lord God is by not knowing ourselves. Yeah, we shouldn't have known good and bad according to ourselves to start with. We most certainly must not realize what our way of life is, what our tree actually looks like. And that's what it looks like, it's a web. Now, there are those here that were, God will create man in his own image. And there are those here that have become a hive mind, according to their way, to the way of God. They have become a hive mind. And I just seen a program a few days ago where they showed, old buildings of the old societies and stuff. And the image of the beehive and the image of the bee is everywhere. So if you're wondering what's happening at the moment, what are they doing? They're behaving like bees. It's basically what they're doing, because this world is running into some sort of trouble. Basically, winter is coming, and they have done what bees do. They have stored away the honey, and now they're starting to kill off the drones. They have lived according to the thinking of the hive mind, and they have basically become like insects. They behave like insects. And if we think what they're doing is inhuman, it is. It's not human. They are not behaving like a human being, they're behaving like an insect, because they're inside the hive mind structure, and they've become, and they're doing according to what they are. That's what's happening. But that is a regression. We are more than that. But as I said, to find the tree of life, is not to break our way back into that garden and eat of their tree. or have the knowledge of their tree. It is to know our own. And that starts with knowledge of self. It goes on through knowledge of others, knowledge of good and bad, what to give, what to take away. And then really again connection to nature. And if we have achieved that, we are back in the garden, and that is our garden, according to ourselves. And as long as we try to make ourselves in the image of something that we are not, it will kill us. The only way to life for us is to be our truth and to live according to our own tree. And that is what we must do. Anyway, I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.